You're listening to the Ballroom Network. The following program is intended for all audiences. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Goon Podcast with your hosts, Joe Mandel, the Goon, John Santucci, the Tooch, and the man with the plan, Adam Shum. We're bringing you the fantasy football knowledge that you need every single week.
Derrick Henry still going. He might go. 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable.
Flushed out again all the way back. Turning the corner. Fires downfield. Caught. Touchdown. Only Mahomes turns what might have been a 15-yard sack into a 27-yard touchdown.
Saquon Barkley across midfield, down the sideline, stayed in bounds, and Barkley takes it all the way. 68 yards for his first NFL touchdown. McCaffrey right up the middle, and he is gone for the touchdown. 58 yards. Pass is to Thomas. He's gone. Touchdown Saints.
Okay, it's time for the easiest part of any coach's job, the cut. Now, while I wasn't able to cut everyone I wanted to, I have cut a lot of you. Steven, I like your hustle. That's why it was so hard to cut you. Congratulations, the rest of you made the team. Except you, and you.
God bless fantasy football. There are many things a man can do with his time. And this, better than those things.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of South Burbs. Wrong show, jeez. That's how you know that I'm so ingrained into doing a show on this network for baseball. We're talking fantasy football today. Welcome to this week's episode of Fantasy Football Goon. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Mandel, the Goon, and I'm joined, as always, by Adam Shum, the man with the plan, and John Santucci, the Tooch. Gentlemen, Week 1 was a bit of a shit show in fantasy, the tight end position specifically. But how you guys doing going into this Sunday? It looks like the chat's already roaring to go.
Yeah, questions are coming in now.
Yeah, we know Connor's ready to go like usual. We appreciate you being here, Connor.
Always.
Yeah, man, it was a rough Week 1 there all around. Definitely, like you said, tight ends for sure. I think this week there's actually a number of options you can pick up and play better than a lot of guys that played last week. Some of these guys like Musgrave for the Packers and Jake Ferguson still on a lot of waiver wires. There's a lot of guys I think available that you could play that are going to get you maybe 5 or 6 points, which is all you can ask for right now from tight end, unless you got one of those top 2 guys.
I like Musgrave this week.
Yeah, he's got a great matchup.
You saw what Hayden Hurst did last week against the Falcons versus the tight end.
Yeah, they're bad versus tight ends.
He should have had a monster day against the Bears. He caught a deep pass and fell down. They dropped a sure touchdown on another one.
But he was still one of 2 tight ends that went over 50 yards last week. So
yeah, I love it. I love him this week. Musgrave.
That deep pass was a blatant holding, though.
Drake London is going to be matched up against Jerry Alexander. That guy's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL.
Yep, and our buddy Steven Zimmerman tuned in and said, "Sup, nerds." Zim, if you're watching, when I introduced the show, I said, "Welcome to this week's episode of South Burbs Hitmen" to start the show. So that's where my mind is. Anyway, gents, we're talking about tight ends. I figure we might as well bring it up. The top 2 drafted tight ends last week were out, and they are both projected to play today. Mark Andrews officially active. Travis Kelce expected to be active today.
Going to be twerking in the end zone against the Jaguars.
Yeah, are you guys are you guys going to shake it off with both of those tight ends this week?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I need all I can get this week in guillotine. I got to have Andrews.
There's no bad blood with those tight end combinations, right?
No, absolutely not. If they're playing, you're playing them. You can't bench those guys.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean he's going to play like he's 22 today, Travis Kelce. So That's right. I just rattled off 3 Taylor Swift songs, and I got a couple chuckles. So I hope everyone enjoyed that.
There you go. Way to work hard for it, Joe.
I'm working hard for it. I didn't practice that one at all, but we're getting a ton of questions here. We're gonna field a couple of these before we dive into our starts and sits.
Oh, my guy Matthew Focchisi.
Focchisi.
I'm going to go with JF1 because if JF1 goes off, you're going to feel like a fool playing Kenny Pickett versus the number 1 defense in the NFL and the Browns. That's just
I don't like either guy, if I'm being honest with you today. I'm curious, Matthew, who else is on your wire? Because I think Pickett's droppable. I do. I'm not expecting really anything from him this year, if I'm being completely honest. So just tell us in the chat, take a look at your wire and see who's available. There's quite a few matchups out there that I really prefer this week, and I'll go ahead and I'll just jump into one of them. A guy that's available in a lot of leagues, Derek Carr against Carolina today. I love Derek Carr today if he happens to be available. So also Daniel Jones dropped in a lot of leagues after last week, taking on the horrendous Arizona Cardinal defense today.
I still like Jones this year.
I prefer both of those guys, Carr and Jones, over either Justin Fields or Pickett today.
Jared Goff is a good start today, man.
Jared Goff is fantastic. I don't expect him to be available anywhere, but
you guys know the number one team who scored the most points per game at home was last season.
It was Detroit.
Detroit Lions. Yep.
Yeah, they're like over 30 a game, weren't they?
Yep. I got the Detroit team total over 26.5 today. Bets. And I already placed that a couple days ago. I'm a winner at 27, 28, 30. You know, all I need is 27 points.
There you go.
Lions.
I like that.
Golf's pretty much a lock at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the road, those splits are fucking incredible.
Not so much. Yeah, not so
much.
On
the road, he's terrible. He's like 31st in the NFL. At home, he's like number 1. You know, it's like
right.
And real quick, Matthew said the Carr was available on his wire, so he's dropping Pickett for Carr. I stand by that. I like that move.
Yep.
And we still got the questions rolling, boys, and then we're going to dive in. But our buddy Steven Zimmerman, Richardson, or Purdy today. I mean, Purdy's got a finger-licking good matchup.
Yes, he does.
I have a hard time benching him after what I saw last week. Do you guys both feel the same?
I do. If you want to like the conservative, going to get you, a nice floor, can get you possibly more if it turns into a shootout. I'm going with Brock Purdy. If you want to gamble and take a flyer on one of those like 30 to 40 point games out of your quarterback, then you go with Anthony Richardson against the Texans. And here's why. Because C.J. Stroud, I think he's going to play today, but he is really banged up. So it might mean extra possessions for the Colts. The Colts, I think, are at home, Adam.
The Colts, I believe, are at home, yeah.
They're at home today. So, it's not a bad idea for sorry, my laptop's about to run out of batteries.
No worries, man. Get that juice plugged in.
Yeah.
Mine's having technical difficulties as well. So
it's one of those
mornings. I agree with what Tooch is saying there, though. Between those two guys would depend for me on my matchup against my opponent. If I was the underdog in that matchup, I would probably play Richardson for the upside Tooch is talking about.
Yeah.
If I was favored, I would play Brock Purdy to get the steady baseline.
Yep. For sure. And MB wants to know Dak, Goff, or Brock. Dak is immediately taken off this list because the Jets defense is tough. So it becomes Goff or Brock, and Goff has such a great matchup today. I think Goff is probably a top 5 play in my book today, guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Jared
Goff at home easy.
Yep.
And against Seattle secondary, I mean, I'm taking that all day.
I mean, look, the Seattle secondary, their number 1 draft pick was a cornerback, Devon Witherspoon from Illinois. He was out last week. He should play this week. And then, of course, their other cornerback's pretty darn good. Tariq Woolen, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL for the Seahawks. So, I mean, it's although like Adam said, like these two teams last year was 45-42. So for me, I'm looking for some fantasy points. I think Lions and Seahawks will be on the high side of
I agree.
Point total. Dak Prescott. See, here's the thing. I think, like Joe said, the Jets defense is fantastic. That front four of the Jets defensive line is fantastic, but the offense of the Jets is going to struggle a little bit against the Dallas defense, which also can rush the passer, and their quarterback is terrible, Zach Wilson. I mean, he should make some improvements year after year. And I don't know if you heard the news today, but Aaron Rodgers expects to be back for the playoffs if the Jets make the playoffs. He had an experimental procedure and his surgery to repair his Achilles tendon. So, anyways, if you dropped him, well, you know,
you're not picking him up either.
You're not picking him up, but if
because
you put him
fantasy
on injured reserve, you're all right.
But fantasy play, unless you're in dynasty, because fantasy playoffs, I mean, are well before actual NFL playoffs.
Right.
But I hear you there, Randy.
Dak Prescott over 19.5 completions for me today.
I'll take that. Yeah. Randy Miller, guys, he wants to know Dotson versus Denver, Elijah Moore versus Pittsburgh. Amari is unlikely to play. Yes, that's very true. Zay Flowers versus Cincy or Zay Jones versus the Chiefs. I like the last three guys on this list, so I'm stunned. Who else do you have that you're benching these guys? But
I love all these guys. I like all four of these guys.
Yeah.
This week, Dotson.
Yeah, who are the other guys? Man, I could make a team out of these four.
Yeah, you know? Like these are. I like all these guys this week. I think I've got both the Zays we're going to talk about later. So I mean,
with Amari out, I'm taking Elijah.
Yeah, Elijah Moore's good.
I don't know how many targets he had last week, but I think he had 10 targets.
He led the team in receiving last week. So
and it was at least 8.
And I don't know if you guys saw in the Goon League, I picked up Elijah Moore this morning. I had to.
Yeah.
I dropped Carr, and I figured I might be able to get him back later on. So we'll see. But Randy,
now that we know about it, you won't.
Yeah, you guys can have him. I'll take Ryan Tannehill for my bye week, I guess. But no, Randy, this is tough. I have Zay Flowers and Zay Jones as great starts, but Elijah Moore filling in for Amari, I think, is probably my takeaway here, because the Steelers defense, the Steelers secondary specifically, got torched last week. So I'm going to go with Elijah. So with Tooch, Adam, which one are you going with?
Elijah.
Man, it is so tough. If I can only pick one, I'm going to go Zay Flowers versus Cincinnati. I think these are all really great matchups and games right here. The Zay Jones and the Chiefs, I think that's maybe the game of the day, the Jags and Chiefs. But I think I'd play Zay Flowers, man. That kid looked so good last week. You know, since he's going to bounce back this week, and Baltimore's going to have to keep up, I think, in my opinion. So I'm playing Zay Flowers.
I like the under in that game, and those two teams but I could see the game going way over too. But I don't think I'm on the Bengals this week. I love Bengals -3. I bet that already. I don't think Bengals play as bad as they did last week. I don't think the Baltimore defense is all that good. They lost 3 key pieces of their secondary over the two injuries, and one guy is playing on the Raiders, and that's Marcus Peters. Marlon Humphrey is injured. Marcus Williams, a safety, is injured. So I love the Bengals today. I love Higgins and Boyd and Chase. I think
Chase will bounce back in a big way today, I think.
Yeah, Higgins is not getting 0 catches.
Yeah, I think Higgins is the big game today.
Yeah, I do too. Because usually when after a game like that, the quarterback's like, "Man, I didn't get you one catch. What the hell?"
Yeah.
Make up for it this week. So I love Higgins this week too. But
Randy says he had Amon-Ra, AJB, and one of the 4 guys need to go off so he can trade one of them. That's a pretty good problem to have.
You're starting Amon-Ra today for sure. No question.
Yeah, I'm playing. That's still a question with I'm still playing Zay Flowers in that. If he goes off, you could trade him for a lot after this week.
Yeah. And Jay wanted to know Mike Williams or D Hop. I'd prefer to answer with neither. I'm curious what's on your wire.
I love Mike Williams today.
I mean, if I had to pick one, it'd be Williams. But there's a lot of mouths to feed in LA. I know that there's no Austin Eckler today, which obviously is a big fantasy blow to a lot of people. But I still think Mike Williams is kind of like 3rd or 4th man down on that totem pole. So I don't like either one. I'd love to see who's on your wire, Jay.
I like Williams, man. Give me Williams. I think he has a big day today. I'll tell you, it's super hard to run on the Titans defense. they're really tough against the run. There's no Austin Eckler to catch past the back. Some of those targets got to go somewhere. I love Keenan Allen today. If you don't, Keenan Allen isn't in your lineup, shame on you.
Oh yeah,
I think they're going to take some deep shots to Williams versus the Titans secondary. So give me Williams over Hopkins. The quarterback. Adam, there's no comparison in quarterbacks.
No, I know. Adam,
Justin
are you going?
Herbert is up here. Ryan Tannehill's down here.
Yeah, for sure. Adam, are you going elsewhere? Or are you would you just roll with Williams?
I would play Hopkins actually. I'm kind of out on Williams at this point. I've been burned too many times by him. I love the guy. Like, he was one of my guys last season, and he's either hurt or he gets a 2-point game, or it's a 25-point game. But that 25-point game only happens about 3 times a season.
That's why I can't touch him. Yeah,
he's Amari Cooper.
Yeah, if maybe even higher upside and lower floor. I mean, maybe even bigger spectrum there on it even. But yeah, exactly like that. And so I'm just going with the steady veteran of Hopkins. I think Tannehill's going to have to go to somebody like that. So I know Tannehill doesn't look great, but I'll take the targets and the especially if it's PPR.
Yep. And then our buddy Cavi here wants to know. This is tough. AJ Dillon or Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. I mean, I would start both of them if you could. I'm curious who else you have on your team. But this week, Dan Campbell was quoted as saying he's going to get more touches to Jahmyr Gibbs. He's going to be more involved in the game plan. Of course, it's a matchup that favors him this week. So I think this is the coming out party this week for Jahmyr Gibbs. Although he looked really good last week, he just didn't get heavy usage. AJ Dillon, of course, getting the start in place of the injured Aaron Jones. I'd love to start both. I think they're both going to eat really well today. Man, how do you guys even
Jahmyr
pick?
Gibbs, for me, it's PPR. Jahmyr Gibbs, a really good pass catching back. I'll tell you right now, I played already Jahmyr Gibbs over 40.5 rushing yards. I think that's one of the easiest bets today. I think he hits 40.5. David Montgomery obviously got most of the touches. I think he 71% share last week of the action for running backs on the Lions. But like Joe said, Dan Campbell wants to get Jahmyr Gibbs the ball. And those few touches that Jahmyr Gibbs got last week, he made the most of them.
Yes,
that dude broke tackles, made extra yards, caught the ball, rushed the ball, looked fast as fuck. So I'm on Gibbs. I'm not a fan of AJ Dillon. I don't think he's very good.
I 100% agree with Tooch there. I had high hopes for AJ Dillon a year ago or so, but he seems like he's gotten slower and slower over the last 2 years. Yep. He looked super slow last week. He doesn't feel that passing role that Aaron Jones does either. He can catch the ball, but not like Aaron Jones does. Yep. Jahmyr Gibbs can do all of that plus more. He's shot out of a cannon, he looks like. And yeah, it's going to be every week a little bit more Jahmyr Gibbs, and there's no way I'm playing AJ Dillon over Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, AJ Dillon's going to get in the. I don't know who the other running back is, but if I was Matt LaFleur, I'd be like, AJ, you're still going to get the same amount of carries you got, which was maybe 5 touches. Who's this other guy we got over here?
It's the AJ Dillon show today. There's no doubt about it. But I'm taking Gibbs over Dillon too. I'm just curious who Cavi's other players are, because I'd potentially start both depending on the other running back. So we'll see if he responds in the chat. But I agree. We're taking Gibbs. We're going to dive in and handle a couple.
There's this question here. Is Gibbs a burner? He was probably one of the fastest running backs coming out of the draft.
Oh, yeah. He's one of the fastest running backs in the league.
The dude's a blazer.
Yeah.
Gibbs is going to be, by the end of the season, a top 5 running back. I believe that in my heart. Yep. Which two should I pick? Algier, KW3, DJ Moore, Superflex, full PPR.
For me,
I'm going Algier and DJ Moore on that one.
For me, it's Kenneth Walker and DJ Moore. Definitely DJ Moore today. After only 2 targets last week, you got to expect DJ Moore knows how to beat the Buccaneers. He played them twice a year for years.
And he's killed them.
He's killed them. So, I mean, as long as Justin Fields can get more of the ball, I'm taking DJ Moore.
More time today to throw, maybe?
Allgeier and Kenneth Walker. I mean, Zach Charbonnet, I think, is going to be the guy that ends up with that spot as the lead back in Seattle. But till then, you got Kenneth Walker, and I think
and Kenneth Walker coming off the injury too. So I'd say I'd go Algier and Moore.
I wonder. I mean, it's the same situation really between these backs. Yeah, Kenneth Walker is battling a rookie running back, and Tyler Allgeier is battling the number 7 pick in the draft running back, for touches. So I don't know. It's a tough call.
I'm playing Bijan and Algier on the same team today.
I wanted it today.
Yep.
And
I think the Goon League's where I'm doing it.
I like that.
It's like the Falcons quarterback is terrible.
They don't throw the ball either. They don't want to
throw
score a touchdown. They want to run the ball every play.
Yeah.
So you got to start.
Kyle Pitts and Drake London don't exist right now.
Yeah, that could be I don't know if that's going to be a high scoring game though. I know Seattle and Green Bay is going to have a share of points. I don't know if Green Bay Atlanta is going to be that high scoring just because
I don't know either.
The defenses of both teams are pretty good. The offenses of Atlanta, and they're going to run the clock. I mean, Atlanta's going to run, and the clock's going to come off there. I kind of like the under in that game, but
yeah, me too. But let's do some rapid fire, guys, and we'll get to our starts and sits. Dem 7 Flowers, Algier half PPR. I'm going Flowers. I think he's going to go off today. I like both of these guys, but in half point PPR, I think I'd probably go Flowers. All right, let's see.
Yeah, Flowers.
Purdy or Watson with Cooper out. I still like them both.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough call. I mean,
I think I'd probably go Watson.
Yeah, I think I'd go Watson too with the matchup, the Steelers secondary.
I think he can get you the same thing Purdy can get, plus the rushing possibility.
Yep, I'll agree with that. You can't lose with either one. You're about the same. You're going to get around 19 to 23 points from each guy.
Yep. Steelers, Pickens or Beckham at flex. I'd say neither. But I guess if I had to go, I'd pick Pickens.
Yeah, I'd take Pickens.
Yeah.
And then probably the easiest one.
For me, it'd be I guess I'll take Pickens too. I don't like either of them in this today.
Yeah, me either. Like this is the easiest one I've seen all day. It's Josh Kelly or Mike Evans. Kelly is the starter today for the Chargers. I think he's going to have a huge day.
I'd actually go Mike Evans.
Me too.
Would you?
Yeah,
Evans
Josh Kelly.
Beast, man.
Josh Kelly has played like 7 games without Austin Eckler, and he's averaged like 4 fantasy points.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
He's not the player Austin Eckler
the
is.
Titans defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL. Like, I'll take Evans versus the Bears of the injured secondary.
Right.
That's true.
Like, you think the Bears are going to shut down Evans all day?
No way. Evans is a beast, man.
No way.
Touchdown. He's going to be passing interference
penalties.
Yeah.
And then same question here. I guess you guys would take Evans, and I'd probably still go Kelly, but it's close.
Kelly's hard to turn down. I get it. I totally see Joe's side of it. I mean, it's hard to turn down that workload and that offense and everything.
Mike Evans is the must start for me every week.
Yeah,
there's no way Mike, unless he's on a bye, he's in my starting lineup.
Right,
yeah.
I agree.
And Buck here, these are our last couple questions, and we're going to start sit. Pick 2 PPR: AJ Dillon, Javonte, Kelly, Puka, Hollywood, or B Rob. Full PPR. Puka probably not going to play in this game, so Puka comes off this list. You can't risk it.
I'm trying to find information. I need to know because it's one of my lineups.
I'm playing Javonte, one of those.
Well, Puka's tomorrow, right? It's a Monday game?
No, it's today.
Today?
I think that's today.
I've got a little time to decide because I could put Kendrick Bourne in instead.
Yeah, but you're definitely starting Javonte. I agree, Adam. I think Javonte is a great play here.
I'm going Javonte and probably maybe Kelly, just because maybe he gets a few dump offs there, but I don't like a lot of the other choices.
I don't like any of
these. I like Javonte. I do like Javonte, but I don't really like the other options.
I don't love the options here. If I had to pick, I'd say Javonte and Kelly.
How did Hollywood do last week?
Not good. I think he had 30 or 40 yards maybe or something on 3 or 4 catches. It wasn't much. I mean, I've seen him dropped in a number of places.
Javonte or Terry McLaurin today?
I'll take Javonte Williams.
Yeah,
I don't like either of them, but I think Denver will be able to control the clock a little more. Sam Howell came out and laid a turd last week. They almost lost that game.
I'm in on Javonte as well this week. Yeah. Another question, Andre wants to know Moore, Judy, or Kelly. I'm going with DJ Moore today.
Moore for me.
Yeah, I'd take more if we're just picking one.
Judy's still banged up. We're not 100% certain he's going to go either. Is he in the morning game today?
I think he's active.
I think you can
think
probably
he- I
count
think
the
he is
number
gonna
of games where Judy has scored more than 15 fantasy points in a week on one hand.
That's the afternoon game today. So Judy's not officially inactive or active yet. We'll find out.
Isn't
But
the San Francisco LA game in the afternoon too?
yes,
Niners
it is.
Rams is 3:25 Central.
Yep. So that's a tough one. But
And there's
I'd say
two games Monday.
yeah, another doubleheader. But I'd
Doubleheader
say
Monday.
I'd go with DJ Moore there, Andre, and then one unrelated fantasy question, which we'll throw: who's your survivor pick for this week for a team to win? Maybe that's not like a super favorite, because that's what you try to do with these things and get the favorites later on in the year. If I had to go with one team today, I'd probably go, to be safe, the New York Giants. That's what I would do.
For me,
What do
it's
you
the
guys?
Cowboys over the Jets.
Adam?
Man, I don't know. I'm not prepared for that. I don't have the list of the games up here right now.
It's all good. No
But
worries.
I do kind of like the Cowboys pick. I don't trust the Giants at all right now. I wouldn't play them as survivor pick this early, as bad as they look like. I know it was against
That's
Dallas.
the only
but-
reason I'm in a survivor. For me, I'm looking at, survivor pick. You have to pick a team that you think is going to
And you can't use them the rest of the year,
win.
right?
You can't use them again.
Right.
So I think
Right.
this is the best chance the Giants have for a for sure win.
Yeah.
I think they're going to
See,
bounce
I
back
think
in a
the
big
Giants
way.
the Giants will get better, and there'll be a matchup down the road I could use them on. I think. I just don't trust them. I'm not in on Daniel Jones like you guys are. I don't think.
Hey,
but-
that's all right, man. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
I think Jones is a great fantasy quarterback. I just don't think he's a good quarterback in real life.
right.
There you go. But all right, boys. Let's dive into starts and sits. Let's get the people what they need.
All right.
Adam, you want to start us off with quarterbacks?
Yeah, let's do it. We talked about Jared Goff earlier. I think that's a shootout game versus Seattle. He's at home. He's money in the bank in that situation, so he's in my lineup if I got him. I'm playing Justin Fields today versus Tampa Bay. He's got to bounce back. There's no other option except to bounce back today, or else things are going to get real ugly fast for him. They have to go downfield, and I think they're going to – he may even force it some, and there may be some turnovers, but I think there's going to be some yards and touchdowns today. Also, Brock Purdy we talked about. I think he's just your safe, steady play. If you're in a good matchup versus your opponent where you're favored or it's a 50-50 game, take the safe play of Brock Purdy. He'll get you a couple touchdowns, 200 yards, and get you that 18 to 22-point range. So those are guys I like this week. What do you guys got?
I love it. Tooch, you also have Justin Fields.
Yep,
And
and Jared
Goff.
Goff. So second those two picks. I'm gonna take Jones versus Arizona. Just I don't want to. I mean, I could pick the obvious guys, like
Sure.
Mahomes and Joe Burrows today. I like those guys, and Justin Herbert probably light it up. Gosh, I should put Mac Jones out there too, but I think Mac Jones is going to be a good play this week too.
Yeah,
So
he's a good
either one
sleeper
of
for me.
either one of the Jones, Daniel or Mac today, I'll be all right with. So Jared Goff, like I said, his home and road splits are they're incredible. He's a beast at home. This should be a high scoring game.
Yeah, I agree.
And with Fields, you're going to be a fool when Fields runs for 100 yards today.
Sure.
If he does. I'm not saying he's going to, but I think the rushing prop
I can see
Fields,
that.
it's
I can
about
see it.
50, 60 yards today. I don't know exactly what his prop is today. I have to look. I didn't bet it because there's not enough data for me on the Bears. They look like crap already this season.
I think Fields feels the pressure to perform today, and he's going to.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's
Yeah, they're-
59 and a half. So they're expecting Fields around 60 yards rushing.
Yeah, I could see him easily hitting
But
75.
You
today, so
got to have Fields in there. That's an easy 6 points.
for sure. And I have all the same guys as you guys, except I also have Derek Carr today against Carolina. I think the Saints looked better in the pass game last week than I expected. Michael Thomas is a big part of that with Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, of course. Adam talked about him last week. That team looks good. I think Derek Carr is a great guy you can pick up off waivers if you have a tough matchup. Say like you have a Dak Prescott against the Jets. I'd rather
That
start
game's
Carr.
Monday night.
Yeah. Yep. So I'd rather pick up Carr and roll with him if I had to there. Of course I say that, and I have Dak and Guillotine, and I'm surviving based off his performance. So we'll talk about that later on, but fun stuff there. So those are our quarterback starts. In between, we got a question from Sean. Full PPR, pick one: OBJ, Justice Hill, or Puka. Puka not likely to go in this game.
Where are you getting that? Because I see he's playing.
I've seen it all over. Adam and I were both talking about it before you came on.
Yeah, let me check the latest here on game day.
CBS Sports has said it's questionable but expected to play.
I mean, if
He
Puka plays,
is listed as expected now on Fantasy Pros.
I thought I heard Sean McVay earlier this week say that he was not going to play, but
I did too, but it's saying expected now on Fantasy Pros.
I mean, if Puka's going, then he's the choice here. Justice Hill's got to play with Gus Edwards
and Melvin Gordon.
So I'm taking Puka out of these three.
I'm taking Flowers on that easy.
Yeah, I got to take Flowers just because.
Oh, geez, I didn't see Flowers in the front there. That's my fault. I'm taking Flowers. I'm taking Flowers. Change that pick.
Puka, if he's fully healthy, it'd be tough between Puka and Flowers because with Cooper Kupp out, I mean Stafford Love. I mean he targeted Puka a lot with Kupp out. So
15 targets.
Yeah, 15 targets.
First game as a rookie, 15 targets.
You can't take that.
That's crazy.
And Tutu Atwell looked good too. I like him today as well. Invader him, PPR, full PPR, Breece Hall or Dobbs. I mean, I think Breece Hall is going to get a lot of checkdowns today in this game. I mean, Dalvin Cook looked absolutely awful. He looked cooked last week, no pun intended. Breece Hall by far the more explosive back. I know Dobbs was good last week. Tougher matchup this week than the Bears. I think Breece Hall.
Two really good cornerbacks on the Falcons.
Yeah.
For me, it's just the amount of touches here, and that's Breece Hall for me. I don't think. Dobbs. I love Dobbs. He had 2 touchdowns last week. Is he going to get 2 touchdowns this week? Doubtful.
Right. That was pretty much his whole stats were the 2 touchdowns, pretty much.
Yep.
I don't think the full PPR. I don't think full PPR is a big factor in this decision of these 2 guys, because I honestly right now, while Breece Hall I think is going to be the best running back in the NFL by the end of the year. Right now, I think Michael Carter's still going to see those third down passing downs. A lot of it he did last week quite a few times. You still got Dalvin Cook in the mix there.
You like my Iowa players, I could tell, Adam.
Man, Iowa puts out studs, man.
Breece, Purdy. Those guys were on the same team, man.
Yep.
Yeah, Iowa State, man. They took it to the Oklahoma Sooners a couple of times. Yep. Purdy did.
30 minutes north of me.
There you go, buddy.
Saturday.
And we're going
to take Montgomery too, right?
Yep, Montgomery. Yep, and then Iowa got all the good tight ends, man, coming out of Iowa.
Yeah, I would say Iowa's tight end.
Tristan Wirfs, lineman, Tyler Linderbaum, who's on the Ravens.
And we're going to take one more before we go back to our running back starts. John wants to know Joe Mixon, Stevenson, A.J. Dillon, or James Conner. I need to start 3.5 point PPR.
Stevenson is in your lineup every week.
Yeah,
you can't bench Stevenson.
Ramondre should be in your lineup every week, no question. Joe Mixon, I don't like his matchup today versus Roquan Smith and the Ravens, but he's better than A.J. Dillon. So for me, it's Mixon, Stevenson, and Conner.
I would agree with that, Adam.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. And Stevenson's huge game this week. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
I know I said we're going to go to our starts, but these people keep getting questions, and we're going to do
them. And then we're going to move. We appreciate all the questions.
Yeah, we love all the great questions. Chat room very active today. We appreciate you guys. Kicks for Mike.
We must be getting a lot from Facebook and Twitter too. I only see like 8 viewers, but we're getting a shit ton of.
There's a lot from all over the place. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. So appreciate you guys. PPR, pick 2 wide receivers in a flex. DeAndre Hopkins, Debo, Mike Evans. Debo's listed twice. So can you start Debo twice? Because if you could, I would start him twice. But no, I guess I would take Debo for sure, and Mike Evans are my 2.
Same with me. I don't like the matchup for Najee versus the Browns defense, the best defense in the NFL. Prove me wrong.
Kicks for Mike. Is there another name that was supposed to be on that list? Because you got Debo twice.
Yeah. Debo and Mike Evans, you got to be starting on that one.
I hate Najee and I hate D-Hop this week.
Tell him not to drop Firemouth.
Yeah, no, don't drop
I
him.
like both of those guys, but
I like Laporta today, though.
yeah. I picked up Laporta this morning on a team, but I wouldn't drop Muth for him. If you could hold both, that would be great. If you could somehow just save Laporta for down the road.
Yep.
Yeah, kicks for Mike. You got to let us know who the other name was.
I'm wearing my peace, love, and Iowa here. Peace, love, Iowa today.
There you go, man. Well, while we wait for kicks for Mike, let's get to our running back starts. Oh, wait, did he respond? No, but Hurst or Musgrave, PPR. I don't think Hurst can do it again. I'd take Musgrave today if I had to.
He is like targeted heavily by Bryce Young. It's hard, man.
But he's got a tougher matchup this week.
Yeah. Man, it's so tough.
Carolina's going against New Orleans secondary. That's tough.
I like Musgrave too today. That's a tough call. I mean, you probably can't go wrong with either one.
Kicks for Mike's other pick was Metcalf, so you're gonna go with Metcalf, Debo, and Mike Evans.
Yeah, but dude,
Yeah,
I would kill for them. If those three were my wide receivers, I'd be like, I'm winning this week.
Yeah, that ceiling is huge right there.
Yeah.
When would we hear if Puka's going to play? Well, the afternoon inactives will be in probably 2 o'clock Central.
I got some time. I have my decision is between it's Kendrick Bourne or Puka. You know, so but they're both late games. One's a 3 o'clock and one's a 7 o'clock.
I mean, you wait to see if Puka's playing. If Puka's playing, you starting him. Snooze wants to know, or I'm sorry, Snooze said he's also from Iowa.
All right,
so
unite.
Iowans.
I'm waiting for Adam Sham to drop through. Next time Adam passes through Des Moines, have a beer with me.
I'd love to,
baby. Let's jump into
take an Oklahoma Iowa game if they play.
There you go.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But let's go into running back starts. I'll lead things off here. I love James Cook today against the Raiders. I think James Cook he looked great last week in his limited usage with that Buffalo team kind of getting all messed up by the defense there. But I do think that James Cook is really going to be one of the top 5 running backs today. I think he's going to have a great day. The Raiders' run defense is horrible.
Yeah, I actually have a prop bet in on that, Joe, so it's good news for you. I have James Cook over – what's his rushing prop today? Over 50.5 rush yards today versus the Raiders.
I think that's an easy win.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Unless he gets hurt. I hope hopefully not. But also James Conner against the Giants. I think the Giants running defense did not look good at all against the Cowboys. Tony Pollard absolutely torched them. So look for James Conner to do the same. And then Jamal Williams getting the start against Carolina. Their run defense was not good last week either. I love all three of these guys. All three of these guys could be top 5 backs today.
Can we talk about Jamal Williams for a second here? Last week, he went against one of the toughest run defenses in the NFL.
Yep.
You know, in the Titans. And this week, don't be afraid to put Jamal Williams in your lineup this week. I had him as a start last week because he's just going to get on. And they didn't give the ball on the goal line. They went with Rashid Shaheed, and that's partly because the Titans. That's my bad. Titans run defense is so tough, but this week he's got an easier matchup. So don't be afraid to put Jamal Williams in your lineup this week. For sure, man. You got to get him going. Yep. And you've got some good backs listed there too, Tooch, for your starts. Yeah, got Jahmyr Gibbs. Like I said, you're going to feel foolish if you don't get him in your lineup for a high-scoring game between the Lions and the Seahawks. And then Dameon Pierce, you know, he had a tough matchup going against the Ravens on the road last week. So he still got plenty of touches. And I know he's coming off the injury and stuff. He's got a softer run defense today versus the Colts. He's had success against the Colts in the past. And then I love the usage that Pacheco's getting. Clyde Edwards-Helaire not supposed to play today. So I like Pacheco to get some pass work game in the passing game. You might see Jerick McKinnon out there too. Man, like they forgot about Jerick McKinnon last week. Got 2 points. Yeah, 2 fantasy points last week. I really kind of thought he would get a little more usage. He may get a little more usage this week, but I don't know if he's in their plans as much as Pacheco.
Yeah, no, I hear you there. And Adam, what do you got, buddy?
James Cook, we talked about that one. He's going to Buffalo's not going to struggle like they did versus the Jets every week. They're going to score a ton of points this year. James Cook's going to get a lot of touchdowns, I think. I mean, he got 6 targets last week in what was a miserable offensive game. And, that's only going to go up, I think, as the season goes on. I look at him and Ramondre very similarly. Both of them are going to catch a lot of passes, going to get a lot of touches in both offenses. So I love them both today, and I love them both all season. And Josh Kelly, we mentioned, I'm going that just from a touch standpoint. Again, like I said, I've looked into it a little further, and I don't love what he's done without Eckler, but in a game where they're going to need him, I think he gets enough touches to get you over the top there and get you a steady amount of points. I love the guys you guys had too as well. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think today is going to be a breakout game.
Yep. Now the Chargers running back situation. Now I don't know if you saw this week, but Austin Eckler is a big fantasy football player. Well, he's got himself on a bunch of, so he's got to bench himself in fantasy this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always been so open about it all too. That's what's great about. He's always been willing to go out and talk about fantasy
He's a
football
great
with anybody.
interview. He's such a good interview, man. Dude's first of all, he's funny.
Yeah,
he's really funny. He loves talking about either his teammates or what he does for training, all that stuff. But,
hey, he had a lot of good stuff to say about Josh Kelly this week.
He had a lot. That's what I was about to say next. Like, he was pumping up Josh Kelly. So who knows?
Yeah, and we got a couple questions before we get to our wide receiver starts. Greg wants to know start 2 at PPR, D-Hop, MT13, Michael Thomas, Jamal Williams, Elijah Moore. I'm taking Jamal Williams and Elijah Moore here out of these two. I do like Michael Thomas a lot this week as well, but I think Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, a new report just came out a few minutes ago. He's unlikely to go, and that's a Monday night game, so you can't risk that. So Elijah Moore, I think, is a great start in his place. He led the team in receiving last week with Amari on the field, so I think it's easy to say he'll be the number one here tomorrow night. And Jamal Williams, I mean, he's got a great matchup. The Saints had a tough one last week, but New Orleans taking on Carolina, who could not stop the run last week. So those are my 2 picks. Adam, where do you land on this one?
I agree with you, Elijah Moore and Jamal Williams. Williams going to get the touches and everything. Elijah Moore, I think, is going to be the number 1 target there. And I think Elijah Moore is a really good player. He just got lost in the Jets' horrible quarterback situation. So I think the Browns stole a player in that deal. So.
Yeah. Yep. Watson's going to fall in love with that guy. I tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's tough. It's PPR, so I mean, Jamal Williams, like in standard, I love today. I think you get a chance to get 2 rushing touchdowns today. But I'm going to agree with Joe and D-Hop was on. He ended up on the injury report this week, so I don't know. I'm going to go with Williams and Moore.
Yeah, I like it. Michael wants to know Garrett Wilson, Flowers, James Cook, Lockett, or Breece Hall, PPR, pick a flex. That's a great problem to have, but I'd probably go James Cook here. I think he's going to have a huge day. Guys?
I mean, to me, if you're only got to pick one of these, there's no way I can bench Garrett Wilson, even with Zach Wilson. I mean, Garrett Wilson's just got to be in my lineup.
I got to know, Michael, who do you have on your team that you have to pick one of these guys?
What are we doing? Who else is above these guys? Right now?
Breece Hall for me would be in my lineup every week.
So would Tyler Lockett. So would Breece Hall, James Cook, and Garrett Wilson.
What is this? A 6-man league?
He's in a 1-man league. He's got all the players.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is 6 guys?
Maybe he's playing daily.
Oh, could be. Let us know in the chat, Michael. Let us know.
Oh, it says PPR though, but I don't know.
Yeah. Sean wants to know Daniel Jones or Stafford.
Tough.
You can't really you can't start Stafford with the receivers he has. I know it's tough. The matchup is tougher this week, of course. So I think you got to go with Jones against the worst defense in the NFL. He's going to use his legs. He's going to run. Stafford can't escape anybody.
Were they the worst though? I think they were actually pretty good. They were 7th in the NFL after they only allowed 248 yards of total offense. The Cardinals, but they were playing the Commanders. So they were playing the Commanders' offense. So it's a tough call. So you're looking at this Stafford versus the 49ers defense, which was pretty darn good. and Jones on the road, and they got trounced 40-0 last week. They're out for blood. I mean, Jones can make some rushing play. I hate to go against Stat Padford, though. He's like Mr. Throw the ball. They're going to be throwing the ball a ton. It's tough.
So real quick, Michael came back to us and he said his starters are Goff, Ridley, Waddle, Bijan, and Monty. You cannot start Montgomery. You have to start
James Cook.
Between Breece. It's got to be Breece Hall or James Cook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, James Cook over Monty for sure.
Yeah, Breece Hall over Monty.
I'd say James Cook or Breece Hall got to be in that lineup.
I'm scared of Breece Hall today in that game.
I'm taking James Cook because he's got a great matchup against Vegas. I'd say James Cook over Monty. You can't start David Montgomery today.
I like that. Yeah.
Because all week Dan Campbell's talked about Jahmyr Gibbs. So, I mean, I don't think Monty's going to be featured today. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Daniel Jones, I think, over Stafford. RB fan wants to know full PPR flex, Kadarius Toney or Peoples Jones. Peoples Jones, of course, will be the number 2 wide receiver for the Browns tomorrow night. Toney had a real bad case of the dropsies last week. I imagine he's going to ball out at some point this season, but man, I think Jacksonville is a good defense too. I mean, can I say neither?
I'll
Give
take
me Toney on the bounce back.
Yep, me too. Tony eventually will be good this season. You'll be like, damn, how come I don't have? Why did I drop him? Whatever, just he had a bad game.
I think they make it a point to try to get him to catch the ball early in the game and get his confidence back up.
Yep, and by the way, thank you, chat room. You guys have been so active today. We haven't even got to our wide receiver starts, which are coming up next. But Blurpy going with Debo, Wilson, White, and Dylan. You think I should sub out any for Connor or Kelly? Also, Colts, Bills, or Texans D today. Debo, Wilson.
I'd be taking Kelly in for Dylan.
Yeah, I'd start Kelly over Dylan. Yep, I would.
In the Bills defense for me.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills out of those 3 as well. Tooch, your line?
James Conner over Dylan every day of the week. No question. James Conner is a stud, man. You cannot.
I had Conner in my starts as well. I just think Kelly's. I don't know. It's close between Kelly and Conner, but you definitely aren't starting Dylan over
the
those
Titans'
2.
run defense is no joke. I'm taking James.
Either one of those guys.
The Giants' defensive line is good too, but they're not like the Titans' run defense is for real. Bills defense for me.
Yep. Sit one. Sanders, Montgomery. Well, Miles Sanders, Montgomery, Breece Hall, David Montgomery. Tooch, Adam.
I'm sitting Montgomery on that one.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate starting Miles and Breece Hall. I like Miles Sanders a lot this year. He's got a tough matchup, I know, in this one, but I like Miles Sanders this year.
Yeah, I have no idea in this one. Sit one. I think you're going to end up, with similar results no matter what you do. But I'll take like Sanders and Hall. They get more carry. It's so tough now. I'll sit Montgomery. I'll go on with you guys.
Yep. So, all right, we got so many questions, and we have to get to our wide receivers. But we're gonna do rapid fire. We're not gonna explain. We're gonna answer these, and then we're gonna get to our starts. I swear. Starters at the okay, never mind. We answered that. Please help. Aaron Jones is out. Start 2 in PPR. James Cook, Herbert, Cam Akers, Kyron Williams. James Cook for sure.
Kyron Williams and James Cook.
Yeah. I don't like Kyron Williams. We talked about a lot of other guys so far, so let me know in the chat later on who else is available on the wire.
Kyron Williams is going to have that job completely, I think. If you remember last year in the preseason, Kyron Williams was the guy Adam Schefter hinted at that the Rams just loved Kyron Williams last year. And then due to some injuries on the opening kickoff of the season, Cam Akers got his job back right then. And he was only mediocre all year. Kyron Williams had a huge game in week 1, and Cam Akers has already taken the back seat to him.
No, I like Williams out of these choices. I don't love him this week. I agree with you. Kyron Williams looked great last week.
I think he's going to get the dump offs today.
Also start 2, Kirk, Marquise Brown, Flowers, Kendrick Bourne. I'm taking Kirk and Flowers. What about you guys?
Oh, yeah, Kirk and Flowers.
Dude.
Yep, same for me. I like Kendrick Bourne today, though.
Dalvin Cook or Pacheco? I'm going Pacheco.
Pacheco for me.
Yeah, I don't really like Pacheco today, but I'd take him over Dalvin Cook.
I agree. Now, without further ado, to our wide receiver starts. Finally, Tooch, lead the way. What do you got?
All right, yeah, Zay Flowers is, he's been almost uncoverable. So, I mean, I don't see how if you're thinking about not getting him. I saw a lot of people asking, should I get Flowers in the lineup? So I'm telling the air, put him in the lineup. Chris Godwin versus Chicago. Godwin plays in the slot a ton. The Bears lost their 2 slot guys. Kyler Gordon's went to injured reserve. He's their main slot cornerback. And then Josh Blackwell, the guy who backs him up, he's doubtful for this game. So they're probably going to have to move Tyreek Stevenson into the slot, which they'd be smart if they did, because Stevenson's really good at press man. But who knows? If they're stubborn, they say, oh, I don't want to move one player. You move all these guys around. But if Chris Godwin has a third-string slot corner, I'm all over Godwin. I'm playing his prop. I'm getting him in my lineup everywhere I have him. And like I said, T. Higgins, it's like he had 0 catches last week. The Bengals were the worst offense in the NFL last year. That's not happening 2 weeks in a row. They're at home. They're versus the Ravens. Love Joe Burrow and the Bengals passing game.
Big bounce back today. I agree.
Yep.
Now, real quick, Jocelyn wants to know full PPR, flex, Montgomery, or Pickens today, gentlemen. What are you feeling?
Monty.
Man, I'd go Pickens. I just don't feel Monty today.
If I had to pick, I'd go with Montgomery just because of the matchup. I mean, I like
the matchup. Yep.
I like Pickens today too, but I'd have to lean towards Monty there.
I do too, but man, that Browns pass rush is so good, man. And Kenny Pickett, I'm not sold on. But Montgomery, we know what you're going to get. He's going to get carries. He's going to get touches. He might get some goal line. I mean, I love Jahmyr Gibbs today too, but I could also see Montgomery vulturing a touchdown from Gibbs.
Oh, for sure. And our chat room is absolutely exploding right now, guys. So thank you, everyone in the chat room. We love it. We love it. So Dalton Kincaid or Cole Kmet. I loved what I saw out of Kincaid last week. I think when the offense is actually working the way it's supposed to, which it should this week, I think Dalton Kincaid is going to be way better than I expected based off what I saw last week. I'm going to go with Kincaid. I know I'm a Bear fan saying that, but I don't know. Adam, Tooch, am I crazy?
I think you can't go wrong here. I think both these guys score touchdowns
both are great.
Today. I think they both get in the end zone. I think you're going to get similar stat line from both, but I think Kincaid gets his first TD for sure today. So I would start. I don't think you can go wrong. I'd probably go Kincaid, though. I got a feeling about him today.
Me too.
I'm on Cole Kmet. TJ Hawkinson destroyed the Buccaneers last week. They're soft versus the tight end. Give me Kmet.
All right. And then we got Dom asking, need to pick 2, Dillon, Kenneth Walker, or Montgomery full PPR.
I hate A.J. Dillon. I never would draft him.
I'd go Walker and Montgomery myself.
Yep. You need 2? Does he need 2 of those?
He said 2, yeah.
Yeah, Montgomery and Walker.
Adam?
Yeah, if picking 2, though, yeah. I like Kenneth Walker quite a bit.
Cool. And then when y'all get a chance, Sean wants to know, Cordell Patterson, is he worth a pickup?
Nope.
I say no.
No, he's still injured.
Yeah, and I mean he's not getting on the field ahead of Algier and Bijan Robinson.
No, he's not. Invader him, Tua or Burrow today. Both have great matchups, actually. Oh no, I lied. Tua's got to go against New England.
Yeah, New England's defense is no joke either.
Yeah,
really
Burrow's got the better matchup against Baltimore today, so I'm going Burrow, gentlemen.
Burrow's got to make up for his 83 passing yards last week, so there's no way I'm benching Burrow.
He's gonna make his money this week because he didn't last week.
I'm going Burrow.
Triple Hunts, Kelly or Flowers, full PPR. Give me Flowers.
Flowers for me.
Flowers all day.
Hopkins or Judy? Neither. Judy's banged up. Hopkins is a tough matchup. Who else you got, Rico? I don't know. If I had to pick, I'd say Hopkins, I guess.
Hopkins.
Jocelyn says, thank you. Jocelyn, you're very welcome. We appreciate you tuning in. We do this every Sunday, so please join us every week.
Yep.
We're happy to help you. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, or whatever it's called, X, at FFB Goon.
You know, 69% of people still call it Twitter. They just and I'm just saying. So, but yeah, you can call it X if you want.
Yeah, whatever it's called these days. Puka or Dotson. Puka's still questionable. It's kind of iffy, but
Dotson for me. I just worry Puka's going to go in there and come out of the game or something. Something could happen with him.
Yeah, Dotson looked explosive last week, even though he didn't have like a monster game. I'll go Dotson because he's healthy.
Yeah. If Puka, yeah, exactly. If Puka was fully healthy, it'd be Puka. If it was with the injury, I'll go Dotson.
Yep. And Eric wants to know Dylan or Garrett Wilson in a flex. You can't bench Garrett Wilson regardless. The talent's just too big.
Yeah.
People love AJ Dillon, man. I'm not a fan.
I did until last year, and he was really a letdown, I thought, last year. And like I said, he just seems like he's gotten slower.
Thank you, Nick. We appreciate the question. Let's see. Got a couple more to get to, and we're going to get back to our wide receiver starts. Kickoff coming up here in about 19 minutes. Hundy, Dotson or Dobbs, half PPR, please. I'm going Dotson. I think he's more likely to score a touchdown today. Gentlemen?
It's tough.
Dotson for me.
It's close, but I think Dotson, because there's no way Dobbs is going to do what he did last week.
I'll take I don't know. That's tough.
I believe Dotson's the number one over McLaurin in Washington.
I agree.
If not now, very soon.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is a tough call. I mean, I'll go Dotson. I like Dobbs though. I mean, if you're looking for a red zone touchdown, I think Dobbs got a bit. I don't know. It's tough.
They're both great red zone guys.
They're both great red zone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great options there, but I'll go Dotson. Rico, I got Adams and Metcalf. Just thinking flex. I got Pierce, but I don't know if I trust the Texans' run game.
Pierce is going to get a lot of work, man. I like Pierce today.
Yeah, Pierce is going to. I think Pierce is a top 5 running back in the league once he gets some help around him. But I think today he's going to do well.
Man. That guy runs hard.
So I think you got to put Pierce in the flex. I think you got to ride him on the flex today. I love him as a flex play. Gabe Davis or Tyler Algier in flex, 16-team PPR. That's a lot.
Man, I'm that deep of a league, man. I'm probably taking the safe play of Tyler Algier on that one.
I would agree. I think he's going to get 15. He's going to vulture. He'll vulture a touchdown today.
Yeah, he's going to get 15 carries, and I think there's at least a 50-50 chance he gets a goal line touchdown.
Tooch?
I'm going Gabe Davis.
All right. Let's see. Adam and I go with Algier. Tooch going with Gabe Davis. Calvo with our last question before we get back to wide receiver starts. What's up, fellas? Start one, full PPR. Ayuk, Hig. Oh, my God.
Golly, man. Jeez.
Who else do you have that you're benching one of these guys?
Yeah. Ayuk is a must start every week. He's a top 15 wide receiver.
Yeah.
All 3 of these guys are must starts.
Yeah, Metcalf is a must start every week. Who are the other guys? That's what I want to know.
If I had to pick one?
If I had to get rid of one, I'd probably ditch DK first. I like Ayuk and Higgins over him today. Well, I don't know. That matchup for DK is great, though.
I know.
If I had to pick one to start, I'd go with Metcalf. I love the matchup.
Man. Yeah, you got to show us what you got starting in front of those guys.
Yeah, Calvo, you got to let us know in the chat if you're still here. Who else do you have that you're starting over these guys? But we got a couple more, and then we are – I keep saying we're going to take our questions because you guys have been so active today. Nico Collins or Gabe Davis. I think Nico Collins is a great play today. You'll hear me talk about him later in the show. I'm taking Nico. Gents?
I love Nico Collins today as well. Yeah,
I love Nico too. He gets a ton of targets. But I'm on Gabe Davis. I think this is a Gabe Davis, one of those games like he had.
The playoff game.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this rapid fire because we got only a few minutes to get through the rest of our starts. Hopkins or Pittman? I'm taking Pittman. We're just rattle them off, boys.
Pittman for sure. He looks good.
Let me give you a little stat on Pittman. 11 targets, 2 in the red zone, and scored a touchdown last week. So for me, it's no question Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman for sure. Cook, Pierce, Judy, bench. Well,
Judy.
how many are you
Bench
starting?
Judy.
You're definitely benching Judy, and you're starting Cook for sure. And then if you have Pierce in a flex, I like it. PPR, Marquise, Nico Collins, Davis, Dotson. Dotson and Collins for me today.
Yep.
Let me give you a little stat on Gabe Davis. Played 94% of the snaps, 70% of his career touchdowns have come at Highmark Stadium. So for me, it's Gabe Davis and Jahan Dotson. But I love Nico Collins too. Give me Gabe Davis today.
Najee or Kyron Williams. I'm going Williams today. Najee has not impressed me at all. I don't even think he's the best running back on the Steelers.
Yep, I'll take Kyron Williams.
I'll take Najee. I hate it. I hate both those guys, but Najee gets a shit ton of touches, and he works in the passing game too. He gets 2 yards a carry, but he also catches passes. Give me Najee.
CD and Allen are the other two that Calvo has that he's starting over Ayuk, Higgins, and Metcalf.
I'm on Keenan Allen all day today. The way you beat the Titans is through the air. Their secondary is terrible. Give me Keenan Allen. But
I mean, honestly, this sounds crazy, but CD might have the worst matchup of all.
He's going against Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, he's got.
Yeah,
Sauce,
I would bench CD, which I know is crazy to say out
probably
loud.
Ayuk.
I would bench CD
That could be a low scoring game too.
For Ayuk and then Metcalf. So
Yeah,
Calvo, that's our take on it.
I'm scared of
the Sauce Gardner. Yeah. I don't think Dak's going to have a great game today. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he is.
You got to get DK Metcalf in your lineup. Let me give you a little DK Metcalf stat. Last year versus the Lions, 7 catches, 143 yards, and was 3rd in the NFL in red zone targets.
And he looked awesome last week too. So
he was carted off the field to use the bathroom, so don't worry. In that game last week,
he really had to take a dump. He thought he had to shit himself.
He thought he was going to poop his pants.
Yeah. Is it smart to drop McKinnon and pick up Atwell and put Puka in at flex? If he doesn't play, put in Atwell.
Talking Jerick McKinnon?
Yes,
he's talking Jerick McKinnon for
you're not dropping McKinnon yet. It's only week 1.
I know it's tough call.
You're just those receivers are rotating there. I'm not dropping a steady player for that.
Geno Smith or Mac Jones today?
Geno in that matchup, but I like Mac too.
I like them both, but I prefer Geno today. Starting to flex, Dotson or Breece Hall? You're starting Breece Hall. You can't bench Breece Hall. Holy smokes, this chat is going crazy. All right. I swear we're going to cut it off here, guys, with 3 more questions, and then we're going to get through our start.
Joe, I feel like we're kind of getting our starts and sits out of the way through these questions. So, we're
that's
just
true.
The people right now.
We're a show of the people. We're answering the questions. It's what the people want.
Yeah.
Monty versus the Seahawks at home. Jamal versus the Panthers. Kelly Titans. AJ Dillon Falcons, and Metcalf. What's the question? How many do we have to choose here?
For my flex option, and Metcalf or Christian Kirk.
All right, so I guess we have to pick one for the flex out of these guys.
Yeah, I go with Jamal Williams on that first one for the flex.
Yep, I would say Jamal Williams for the flex.
Metcalf on the bottom.
Yep. Najee, Moss or Edwards? Pick one.
Ugh. Give me Zach Moss.
I'd take Moss out of all of them. He's
me,
starting.
Najee. I hate it, but
that's getting kind of ugly there, Sean. But yeah, give me Moss today.
Mike Evans or Mike Williams? I'll take Mike Evans. The Bears secondary sucks nuts.
Yep.
They might score 100 points.
My only worry for Evans and Godwin is that the Bears commit so many pass interference penalties trying to save deep touchdowns.
Yeah, that they're all vulture.
That they don't get the yardage
runs.
from. They don't get the yardage from them. Rashad White gets goal line touchdowns.
Flex 1, non-PPR, Jones, Edwards, Roschon. Which Jones are we talking about? Jones, the one that's hurt. So never mind, you're not starting him. So it's between
Roschon in that.
Jones. Edwards,
he said Never mind. He said Kyron Williams, not Jones. So Kyron Williams, Edwards, or Roshan.
Okay, so Edwards is Gus Edwards, Roshan Johnson. Who's Jones? Aaron Jones is out.
No. He said below that in the comment. He said Kyron Williams, not Jones. So I think I would take Kyron Williams today if I had to pick out of those three.
I'm taking Roshan.
I think I'm going Roshan too. The non-PPR kind of hurts all of them because they're all kind of pass-catching guys. So, but I think they've talked about Roshan getting more work today. So,
yeah, I could see that. It's close between Kyron and Roshan. So
it is close.
It's a coin flip. And then Lockett or Godwin, half-point PPR. You got to start Tyler Lockett. I can't bench him in this matchup. Can you guys?
All right, look. I love Godwin this week with the Bears injuries to slot. But, yeah, it's tough. Lockett is probably an auto start for me, but Godwin can also be an auto start. I don't think you'll go wrong. You can't go wrong, but that's going to be a high scoring game with Seahawks and Lions. So I'd go Lockett just because of the matchup.
I'm barely take Lockett too.
Yeah, but I love Godwin.
But I like Lockett.
Well,
yeah,
who are the other guys? I would start both of them.
Yeah,
a lot of people with good teams.
Yeah,
let us know, Red Sea, who else you got, because that's great. Those are great starts. Alex, should I start Scary Terry on my flex? I have Zay Flowers.
All right.
No, I would start.
You've been watching this show today, Alex. We're all Zay Flowers all day.
We're growing flowers. They're sprouting everywhere.
I'd rather have Flowers. I'm not sold on Sam Howell yet. He was good in the preseason, but
we're turning into hippies. There's so many flowers on this show today.
So Kyron and Roshan have tough matchups, but Roshan's good in the passing game. That's how you beat.
Yeah, they're both tough matchups, but
Roshan's great receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, Roshan does have the better pass catching ability out of the two, in my opinion. So he gives you the edge there, but it's a non-PPR league. So
Kyron, I don't know. Kyron Williams is 190 pounds. Roshan's like 220.
Yeah.
Give me Roshan all day.
Yep, and we're 8 minutes out from kickoff, but Josh Kelly, Pierce, or Lockett. Man, that's tough, but I would go Lockett for sure.
Yep. I love Pierce today, though.
And then my wide receiver starts. I like Michael Thomas today against Carolina.
Love to see him bounce back, Joe.
He had a great bounce back last week. He looked good. He looked healthy. I love Christian Kirk against Kansas City.
I do.
And then, of course, we've been talking about Zay Flowers all morning. Adam, we talked about T. Higgins and Flowers. What about the other Zay?
Zay Jones, man. Like I said, I think that's the game of the day today. I think it's a high-scoring game. Zay Jones just seems to go under the radar. He is easily the number 2 behind Ridley, I think, in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence loves him. Zay Jones was a great player last year, especially the second half of the season. Yeah, he is so good. Yep. I really like him today. I actually was able to get him off the wire in one of our leagues we play in together.
I got the over in that game today, so I'm expecting 50 points, 51 points.
Adam, give us your tight end.
What about this one from Barnum Network?
Jerick McKinnon today in that game, man. That's high-scoring game. He's going to get the third down. That's why I don't like Pacheco. It's going to be high-scoring. I think McKinnon's going to be on the field a lot more, and they're going to make up for what they didn't do last week.
I got to change that. Hold on.
Real quick, rapid fire. We got to go our starts. Adam, tight end.
Hunter Henry back again. He had a huge game last week. Mac Jones loves him when he's playing. Mac Jones hits him in the end zone all the time. Cole Kmet today, we talked about that. Another huge red zone threat. Fields loves him. I think he scores. And Sam Laporta, the rookie from Iowa, Tooch's guy, versus Seattle in that shootout game. He got, I think, 7 or 8 targets as his first game out there. He looked really good. I think he's going to be a weapon all year long for golf.
I love that. And then, of course, we talked about Jacksonville. I love Evan Engram today against Kansas City. I expect him to be heavily utilized in that game. Talked about Jake Ferguson last week. Dallas. The going up against the Jets is a tough matchup, but he's a safety blanket for Dak. Jake Ferguson had a lot of targets last week. I love him. And, of course, Musgrave. Tooch, what about your tight end starts?
Well, I think you got to take Darren Waller today to have his breakout game. I know people are wondering whether I should start him. He's injured. And you know what? You drafted him high, get him out there. If he's injured, you can move on to the next week. Jake Ferguson, like I said, he's got a lot of targets last week. He's going against the Jets. I know it's a tough defense, but I think you're going to be looking for the tight end as a little stump off. he got a ton of targets, I think, Adam. I don't know how many targets Ferguson had last week. And then
I
Cole
think
Kmet.
it was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Half of them were not close to him, but Dak loves the tight end, man.
Yep. And then Cole sleeper starts. All right. So Raheem Mostert, I know it's tough to run on them, but he got like 75% of the touches in that backfield. I love the speed. I think that game will be high scoring. I like the over in that game. It's 46.5. Give me Elijah Moore versus Pitt. Love all the targets. And Cole Kmet versus the Tampa Bay. I think he'll have a touchdown, like I said. And then you forgot what's his name? Hawkinson destroyed Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Tight end from tight end.
Adam, let's rapid fire our sleepers and our sits, and then we're going to answer our questions quick in the chat. So sleeper starts, Adam.
Sleepers, Nico Collins versus Indianapolis today. Huge target share. I think he gets it again today. Mac Jones, possibly having to play from behind versus Miami.
Yep.
He put up over 300 last week. I think he could easily do that again today in that game.
Yeah,
and Zach Moss off the waiver wire starter for the Colts today against the worst run defense in the NFL.
Yep, and for me, we talked about Nico Collins. I love the matchup today. Gus Edwards against Cincinnati. He's going to be the number 1 running back. And then Baker Mayfield against the Bears secondary. They really suck.
Cam Akers inactive just now.
All right, Cam Akers isn't active.
Wow, so there you go. Kyron Williams. Yeah.
Our sits, I'm going to go with Geno Smith at Detroit. I just have a bad feeling today that he's going to be Aiden Hutchinson is going to be up his ass all day. Najee Harris, I think he stinks. And Hayden Hurst, I don't think there's any way he can do what he did against New Orleans this week. Adam, what about your sits? Of course, you had Akers, who's inactive. So obviously
there we go. Good call on that one, Adam.
Yep.
Isaiah Pacheco, I'm sitting him because I like Jerick McKinnon more in the passing game today in that high-scoring affair I expect. And Amari Cooper, I put him down because he was questionable. We now know he's likely out, so that's why I always – anytime Cooper gets a cue, he's out of my lineup.
So that Gabe Davis is supposed to be in my sleepers. Damn it. And who are my starts or my sleepers? I put Gabe Davis in the wrong one.
It's all good, Tooch. We'll skip it, and we'll go right to all the questions in the chat because it's super active, and we'll answer as many as we can quickly. Let's see here. Where do we leave off? Pickens or Herbert?
Pickens.
Yeah, I'll go with Pickens as well.
I don't expect a lot out of Herbert today.
Neither do I.
Alex says that he subscribed. Alex, we appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, everybody, all these questions, everybody, we appreciate you guys all tuning in. Please share this with everybody for coming out next week. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Share, subscribe, like, follow.
2 minutes to set your lineups.
Yep, you got 2 minutes. Olave, Lockett, Diggs, or Pittman.
Stephon Diggs is a must start every week.
You can't bench Stephon. Who else do you have, Dom?
Yeah.
This is a stacked question.
I'm going Diggs and Olave.
Yeah, you got to start Diggs and Olave this week.
I like Pittman this week, too. I think he gets a touchdown.
Would you be worried to start Evans with the weather over Debo? I would start Debo.
Yeah, I'd start Debo. I wouldn't play Evans over Debo.
That's a tough call, man. Yeah, it's a tough call. I think it's probably a wash.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not afraid to start Evans with the weather. I think it'll be cleared up.
It's close, but I think I'd take Debo by like a hair.
I just like Ayuk is a big part of why Debo isn't getting the amount of targets he should normally be getting.
Yep, and we skipped over it, but we have a minute. We'll talk defense matchups. I took a flyer on the Giants against Arizona. I like the Browns against Pittsburgh without no Deontay Johnson, and then the Buccaneers against the Bears because you guys all saw last week the same thing I did. Adam, you got a couple ones here.
Yeah, I got Broncos versus Washington. Washington didn't look super impressive. I think they can move the ball a little bit. The Broncos have a good secondary and stuff. They could get some turnovers on Sam Howell. The Giants you mentioned, and Packers against Atlanta. Just Atlanta doesn't throw the ball. I think the Packers can stack the box, and they can keep that a low-scoring game. And, in fantasy, you just need not to give up a ton of points to have a good defense for the week. So I think they're a safe play.
Love it. Tooch?
The Cowboys versus Zach Wilson and the Jets. The pass rush of the Cowboys, no joke. You saw what they did to the Giants last week. I actually had Commanders or Broncos, I think. You can't go wrong with either of those two.
Right.
Today.
Yeah. Both sides of that's great.
Both sides of that. Joe changed it to versus, but I had Commanders or Broncos. I think that game's going to be like a 13-10 game.
Got it.
So also like that. And then Saints versus Carolina.
Awesome. Love it, guys. And Sean says, thank you, guys. And Sean, we appreciate you coming back for the second week in a row. And everyone else that was in this super active chat room today, this morning, should I say. And we are there. We're at kickoff, guys. It's time for football. Obviously, if you have more questions, hit us up on any of our social media
got a
accounts.
little late news. Jonathan Joseph, he's the guy that usually clamps down on Tyreek Hill for the Patriots. He's the only guy that's really played Tyreek Hill tough. He's a speedy ass cornerback on the Patriots. He's out. So,
okay.
Just FYI, that looks like it's going to be a high scoring game, man. I'll tell you that right now. I got to get my bet in on the over in that game.
There you go. And
that
Sean's,
game's what, tonight? That's the late game, right?
Which game are we talking about?
The Patriots and Dolphins.
Yes, that's tonight. Yep, that's
Sunday
tonight.
Night Football. So Jonathan Joseph is the guy who clamps down on. He's the guy that matches up on Hill every time they play.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. That makes a big difference in that game for sure.
Yep.
And then Sean said, he goes, first time I ever took advice from a Bears fan as a Packers fan. Well, Sean, we appreciate the trust. Hopefully we gave you some good a victory last week and some good advice, and we appreciate you coming back and very much appreciate how active the chat room was today. I mean, guys, this is the most active I think we've ever had our chat room. That was awesome today. So
without question,
took it right up to kickoff, and here we are. You're reminding everyone before we sign out, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the Barroom Network. It'll let you know anytime we have a show that goes live. Of course, we are live every Sunday about 10:45 Central, 11:45 Eastern, leading up to kickoff, which we did today. Give us a follow each individually at Joe Mandel, at Papa Bear 816, at John Santucci VIP, and of course at Barroom Network, at FFB Goon, and then of course Fantasy Football Goon. We're on Instagram and Facebook. Give us a follow there. You can watch these shows live there as well. We look forward to you guys joining us every single Sunday morning. We appreciate you tuning in today. Adam and Tooch, appreciate you guys very much. Hell of a damn great show this morning. Anything before we get out of here around the horn? Adam, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Just thanks again to all the activity this morning. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you did, please share it with someone else so they can join in next week and we can keep it going. I had a great time this morning.
Absolutely. Very active chat room. Can't beat that. Tooch, what do you got, buddy?
Shout outs, both my co-hosts here who bring it every weekend. The chat room was fantastic today. It's awesome.
Appreciate that, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Check out Weekend Sports Betting Tips, what's soon to be called Barroom Sports Betting Tips, every Friday night, 7 p.m. Central, with myself, Anthony Iglesias, and Sean Higgins, two real handicappers, and me, a guy who, even though I was up plus 12.88 units yesterday in college football, and just a podcaster, not a handicapper. And thanks for subscribing to the Barroom Network.
Yes, absolutely. And then we got a last-minute question from George. Elijah Moore or Jerry Judy? Elijah Moore. It's going to be the number one for the Browns on Monday night. There's going to be no Amari Cooper. Ride Elijah Moore with confidence. And I'll put this up just because Sean has been a great supporter all day. He said, go, Pack, go. So, sure, why not? George says, thanks, boys. Appreciate you, George. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share with everybody else. Last thing I'm going to say before we get out of here, looking forward to these afternoon games kicking off now. Thanks to Adam and Tooch for a great show. Great morning as always. And, of course, a shout-out to Aldo Gandia, the barkeep, the man behind the scenes, the founder of the Barroom Network. Appreciate you as always. Shout-out to the chat room for an amazing turnout this morning. So many great questions. And then, of course, my beautiful wife, Catherine, my daughter, Audrey, and my Great Dane Maverick. I love you all very much. And for Fantasy Football Goon, I'm Joe Mandel. That's Adam Sean. The man on the bottom with the piano is John Santucci, the Tooch. We'll be back next week. Good luck in your matchups. God bless football. God bless America. Let's go kick some ass. See you guys next week.